I am your host, SunDej, and this is the Manifesting Through Music conference. I just want to thank you all so much for being here. And can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're serving the artist community?
Well, I'm Legato White, drummer with the Red and Black Brass Band. So the band has a unique, multi-layered origin story where all 8 of the members in the band, we're in the music fraternity together, comprised of 5 different universities. 8 of us have gone to 5 different universities and become members of the music fraternity Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia Fraternity of America Incorporated. So before this band, we already had a bond, a brotherhood, a fraternity that allowed us to grow the band to where we are today and gave us that groundwork to start the ensemble and take it to where it is now, to create this relationship and go out and spread music throughout the city. And how we started the Red and Black Brass Band is 2 of our members during the height of the pandemic. They were stir crazy, kind of locked in the house like everybody else. And 2 of them decided to just go out just to get some fresh air, walk the streets and play their instruments. Our tuba player, Ben Cosberg, and one of our trombone players, Dominique Burton, they just went out into the streets of Tower Grove South and began to play Stand By Me by Benny King, just to get out of the house a little bit. And as they walked the streets, one of their neighbors caught the video of them playing Stand By Me, posted it to Twitter, and it went viral. The spark that led us to go out into neighborhoods all throughout the summer of 2020 and going neighborhood to neighborhood, just walking the streets, playing music similar to what we do in my hometown of New Orleans, Louisiana, of how we were received. And that's what started the band. And we've taken it from the street to private venues, to clubs, to corporate events, birthdays, homegoings, anniversaries, and we brought this New Orleans style sound to many different aspects of life, providing that party atmosphere and music as we've been doing.
Introduction. It's really interesting to me. So many of the speakers in this conference talk about how the pandemic really shifted things for them. It really, and in a positive way, and so I love that you all were able to contribute to giving people more ease, not just locally, but all over the world. So can you tell us a little bit about how if there's an artist who wants to hire you all and, for different gigs, whether it's wedding events or concerts, like what would be the process from beginning to end of how they would connect with you and then go about the process to book you for a service?
Got you. So there's a couple of different ways. We typically use social media as like a landing page. We almost use social media as our website. We leverage Instagram and Facebook pretty well, as well as email marketing. So more often than not, we're reached out to through social media. In our direct messages, we have contact information on our profiles. So you can give us a call, a text, or an email. And then typically a venue or a client or someone interested in booking the band would reach out and as an inquiry, letting us know what they're looking for. Hey, we have a block party we want to do, or hey, our wedding's coming up. We want to know if you're available. How can we go about booking? And then we'll start that conversation there with exactly what the client needs and if we're available and how to execute what they need, coordinate timing, loading. So there's the nuances we have to make sure are in place so we can serve the client to the best of our ability. and help make that experience they're having, whether it's a wedding or a birthday, make it exactly how they envision it. So we communicate via email a lot and also by phone. Once we get that initial inquiry in, let's say our direct messages, then we'll transition that to the email. And sometimes there'll need to be more intricate conversation, and then we'll have a phone call and then iron out all of the details, whether it's contractually, et cetera. And then once all of that is agreed upon, then we're ready to service the client.
Or any artists who would want you to learn their music, what would be the process to go about that as well, as far as choosing what type of music is going to be played? And if there is a set, if they already have a set list, how would you go about, you know, getting a hold of the music and then rehearsing and different things like that?
We're a New Orleans style brass band. It's also called second line music. So that's a historical tradition in New Orleans where the music is named after the audience or those that are dancing along with the band. So the band would be the first line and the dancers, the onlookers, the audience would be the second line. So we occupy kind of a narrow space in terms of the type of music we play, although we have 8 musicians in the band who play multiple different instruments and genres. So we are able to expand into rock, funk, pop, hip hop, reggae, and fusion as well. We can fuse different genres together. So for example, with one of our shows, we have a set list, as you mentioned. We have a compilation of songs that typically fit into that New Orleans second line brass band style, talking with the client about what they want. So they'll send us the song, and we'll download the song, get in rehearsal, play it, sharpen it up, and then we're ready to go once it's time to deliver that song or those songs for the client.
Is there a certain type of file that you would need as far as like a WAV file or an MP3 file? Because I know that certain files are best suited for different situations.
Yeah, we'll utilize any of those streaming services. YouTube a lot. Sometimes a client may send an MP3, like you mentioned, of a specific song they'd like us to work on and arrange. So yeah, we'll use any number of streaming services just to get the version of the song that we need. Because some songs have multiple versions or arrangements, and we want to make sure we get the right one and we work on it the way the client would like. And typically with us, the client wants us to put our flavor on it. That's why they're hiring us. So a lot of times they'll tell us, hey, this is what we want, but we know you guys are gonna, have it rocking. You're gonna make it, funky and make it sound great. So a lot of times we have that leeway to be creative with the song. And sometimes the client will be like, we kind of want it just like this version. Can you guys play it like this? And we take it on a case by case basis because it's a combination of remaining true to ourselves as artists, but also delivering and to the client what they want, so that we juggle those and make sure those go hand in hand as much as possible. So
okay, if I remember correctly, all 8 members are currently in St. Louis. Right. Are you also from New Orleans, D, or are you from St. Louis as well?
I'm from the North Shore of New Orleans.
Oh, from New Orleans. Okay.
Yeah, town called Covington, Louisiana.
No, I was just gonna say, is there anything else that you wanted to add as far as the experience of booking a live band?
If anybody's had a chance to see the Red and Black Brass Band, had an opportunity to come to a performance, they would know that it's more than just about being entertained. We want to inspire the audience. If they've been having a bad day or something happened in their life, they can come to one of our shows and they can feel uplifted by the music. Our music is meant to reach a certain part of the spirit, of the human spirit, to kind of raise them up from wherever depths of that their emotions may be carrying them, or some kind of something in life that is weighing on them heavily. The Red and Black Brass Band, the music is supposed to uplift you and inspire you. So that's why you see people dancing and spinning around. Sometimes we move people to tears, or they're just shouting and jumping up and down. And that's what what second line music is all about. It's a music for the people, as Legato said. So I didn't want that point to not be a part of the interview. And we're, like Legato said, we're very professional. You get in contact with us, you're going to get top quality service with booking gigs or performances, or you need us to play for a wedding or birthday party, or even a homegoing, like a funeral service or something like that. You're going to get top-notch professional service, but everyone that's there is going to feel uplifted by the music. And that's one of the things when we walk away from something. If the people, whether it's 2 people or 2,000 people, as long as one of them, we can see that their spirit has been uplifted by it, then our job is done.
Know that music goes so far beyond just being able to creatively express. It really does heal and transform lives.
Yes, and SunDej, want to thank you for having us. This has been insightful. We always like to try to contribute to the indie artist community, those who are creatives and working on their craft and trying to inspire to help keep them going, keep them motivated. You never know who you're touching with your art. You never know how you're healing yourself with your art. So the art is an internal thing as well as external. And I just wanted to add that with this New Orleans style music we play, there are some similarities between New Orleans and St. Louis that have helped what we do, with both being river cities right on the Mississippi River, both having a French influence in the culture, both having the Mardi Gras culture. That's really helped how we're able to bring our art and our sound to this great city. And we just thank St. Louis. We can't thank St. Louis enough for how it has embraced us as a band, what we've been able to contribute to the city and what the city's been able to contribute to us. So we are STL made. So I just wanted to briefly highlight that connection between New Orleans, our sound, and St. Louis. And where you can find us. So we're on all the major social media platforms. You can search Red and Black Brass Band on Facebook. We'll pop right up. On Instagram, it's at Red and Black Brass Band. We're also on TikTok under the same handle as Instagram. It's at Red and Black Brass Band. There's a lot of media content on us. If you Google us, you'll be able to find where we did a big piece with PBS, Riverfront Times. We won an award as a St. Louis artist in 2021. So comment, and we love engaging on social media. So please give us a shout at Red and Black Brass Band.
The story. So I did want you to go back to that before we close.
Absolutely, not a problem. So yeah, we had a performance last Saturday at the Golden Record, which is on Cherokee, 2720 Cherokee, if anybody's familiar with that venue. It was called the Brass Band Blowout, and it was featuring the Red and Black Brass Band, Funky Butt Brass Band, and St. Boogie Brass Band. And they were after our set, we were kind of backstage And there's kind of like this balcony that the VIP area can kind of see backstage a little bit. And there were these three young ladies that were standing on the balcony while we were backstage. And one of them said, "Hey, my friend wanted to tell you something." Um, and she kind of looked over to her friend, and her friend started signing, like using ASL, sign language. And she said, to her other friend who was interpreting, she said, "Hey, I've never, been to, seeing you guys before." He said, "But I just want to tell you, I really enjoyed your performance because I could feel you. I can't hear, but I can feel you guys' energy." And it was just something that would just kind of blew our minds. And then she was there with like 3 or 4 other interpreters, and the interpreters were here from the St. Louis area, which the one young lady who was deaf, she wasn't. She was, she's visiting. And the rest of the interpreters said, "Yeah, actually, we hang out with the ASL group of people all the time. People that are hearing impaired or deaf, and they love the Red and Black Brass Band. They follow you guys on the Instagram and on Facebook, and whenever they see you guys out on the street, they talk about you all the time. So even though they may not be able to hear you guys, they can still feel the energy of your music, and they really love you. So that's why they're always coming to see you guys. That's why we brought her tonight to see you guys perform." It just kind of blew our mind, like, wow, it really is something amazing about how music is more than just only sound. It's also vibrational. And you add that with the visual of what we're giving through our horns and our movement and our just our sincerity to bring inspiration to the people. It can move anyone, whether you can audibly hear us or not. You're still being moved by the same energy of the people that can hear us.
That's such a beautiful story. And, like we talked about before, music is so powerful. It goes beyond just something that sounds good or, just something to have extra at your event or your party or whatever. It really touches and heals people in ways that sometimes we can't even really imagine. You know what I mean? So I love that she took the time to say that to you, because otherwise, how would you know? you
Right,
know?
right, right.
And that's also motivation just to keep going, because there are ups and downs in life, period, and you feel like you don't really know whether what you're doing is doing what you intended it for it to do,
Mm-hmm.
so just that reassurance and that validation can be everything. So I just want to thank you both for being here, um, and for sharing that story, that beautiful story, and educating us on how artists can get connected with a live band. I really appreciate how you shared not just the experience of having a band, but also the cultural history and the connection. So thank you both for being here, and thank you to everybody who joined. If you haven't already, make sure you register for the conference so you can hear the other speakers as well. So thank you all for watching from beginning to end, and we'll see you in the next segment.